Hi, welcome to Bio on the Bayou. I'm Carolyn Schofield, Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications at Tulane School of Medicine, and I've got my colleague here now, Maggie Gentry. Maggie, tell us about yourself.
Hi, yes, my name is Maggie Gentry, and I am the Clinical Marketing Manager for Tulane Doctors here at the School of Medicine. And so focus of my work is to increase patient engagement across touch points, to grow our market share for Tulane Doctors.
What do you do as Clinical Marketing Manager for Tulane Doctors?
On a day-to-day basis, I am focused on all of our patient-facing marketing and as well as managing our digital presence. And so something that we're pivoting our strategy a bit now in clinical marketing is moving from branding Tulane Doctors to a more strategic approach. So I am looking for opportunities to connect our specialists and physicians with needs in the community.
I think we have a unique position here in New Orleans because we're kind of a small fish in a big pond, but we have something that we can offer that a lot of other providers might not have.
Yes, and I feel that one of our great value differentiators is our specialty medicine and niche care and a lot of the really amazing and innovative work that Tulane Doctors are doing. And so we do have patients that travel from all over the Gulf South, from all over the country, and even internationally to see some of our specialists. So getting the word out about the amazing things that they're doing and the life-saving techniques and medications that are coming out of Tulane University is really exciting.
And I've been able to work with you and had the honor of working with you since 2022. And one of the things I love about what you do is you always are exploring these interesting channels of different ways to get the message out about doctors. Talk about what kind of ways you've found to market them.
Sure. I think that one of the really great and best things that we do for Tulane Doctors Marketing is using our own physicians and having them speak and be ambassadors for the care that they give and for the patients that they care for. Because in talking with them, I just find out so much about their passion and their motivations and how they got to be where they are in medicine. And that's really, really inspiring. And I think that shows in our advertising.
Do you find that you can move the needle when it comes to just the conversation and being in the conversation, even if you have a limited budget?
Yes, and that is something I'm super interested in and potentially hope to use AI to scale some of the great marketing work that we've done to benefit other departments and the greater School of Medicine as a whole. And so working on a small budget or working with limited resources, I think is most about telling the story of the medicine, telling the story of these physicians and getting the word out there so that we are top of mind when patients are considering specialty care or when they're seeing a general practitioner who might be referring them on to a more advanced care.
And you mentioned AI. You've been a big proponent of AI. Talk about how you use the different tools that you do.
Yeah, so I describe myself as a steward and evangelist of AI at the School of Medicine. One thing I'm really passionate about, as I said, is trying to use AI to scale my work. But what that really means is being able to do more with less, being able to do more in less time. And I find that it's kind of maybe a theme across all industries that comms and marketing teams are often bare bones. They're some of the first professionals to get cut when budgets get smaller. But there is a lot that you can do using AI as a co-pilot, essentially. And so I like to talk to other staff and administrators and teach them ways to infuse AI into their current workflow so that they can, get copy out faster, so they can have a partner for brainstorming, and so they can have somewhere to reference. ChatGPT knows all the best practices as far as marketing and healthcare.
One thing I've noticed that I've used AI for last week when we had Taylor Swift in town, I wanted to make content for our social media that was related to Taylor Swift, but I don't know her lyrics really well or anything. And that's what I used ChatGPT for. It was really handy to say, here's this content I want to post that's related to our brand, but can you help me Taylor Swiftify it?
Yes.
And I feel like that's one way, and just one of the many ways you can use like an AI tool to help you.
It's such a good example, and I would use that example as a lesson to others who maybe haven't started engaging with it on a daily basis, but ask it those weird questions that you're not exactly sure how to ask your coworker. How do I Swiftify this? I think that some of the most random tasks that I go to it for end up being some of the most amazing. But just you know the story that you want to tell about Tulane medicine, but having ChatGPT to add expertise or add insight on, pull in information on something that is not necessarily top of mind for us, I think it goes a long way.
One thing we didn't talk about is that your background, you have a marketing degree, but your background is kind of in service industry. But how, I always find it fascinating, especially talking to people who are in the pharmacy space, and everybody came from different backgrounds. I met somebody once that was formerly athletic communications that moved into pharma communications. How have you found that those industries kind of like translate to each other, and being able to take those skills from one field to another?
Sure. So yes, I do have a bit of an interesting transition from, my education was in business and marketing, but then I went into service industry for a long time. And before working at Tulane, I was managing a bar and restaurant live music venue. And so I think that the COVID-19 pandemic changed the way that we saw service industry professionals, and with so many of them rejoining the corporate workforce, if you will, once their jobs and livelihood were forever changed by COVID-19, I think a lot of the skills that people develop in the service industry in a sales-facing, customer-facing role apply to anything you want to do in life. And one of those benefits, I would say, is the ability to work with diverse people from different backgrounds with different goals and different motivations and different personalities, and I'll let you say. And I guess I'm not surprised as much anymore. And I feel that if I can connect with someone and find what it is they're looking for, it doesn't matter that I don't have a healthcare background, because we're working towards the same goal. I think that service industry taught me how to see people from wherever they're coming from at many different levels and across many different industries. I would say that's a benefit I take from it.
And being part of the hiring process for you and the other people we've added to our team, I get the takeaway I always get is that maybe the right candidate on paper isn't the right candidate for the job. And it's those conversations that you get, I don't know, I feel like you get a feeling of this person's going to fit. And even though the reputation, or not the reputation, but like their experience doesn't directly line up with that position, it's always like sometimes the right candidate is in a different position right now. I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, I do agree. I think if you do just the same thing for your whole career, you can get stuck in mindsets. You can get stuck in certain ways of thinking. And so transitioning out, actually, as I transitioned into this role, at the same time, we had announced our healthcare partnership with LCMC Health. And it was you could tell that it was hanging very heavily over the organization. But for me, it was just exciting because I didn't have anything to compare it to. And I was going in with, I guess, a fully open mind on this situation. But all that to say, change is good. And you're right. Something on paper doesn't always translate to success in real life. And having been part of the hiring process for some of our new team members and being in on interviews with them, I definitely concur that sometimes you just know. And I think that I think it comes in marketing. There's a lot of place for people to have a personality and a unique perspective on things.
Yeah. I guess we can go back to the final question. What help or resources are you asking from the larger community? You're really big into AI. And so if people have questions, can they reach out to you and ask how to get started?
I would love for people to reach out and ask me how to get started in AI. I am very interested in sharing how AI can make people's lives easier, because for me, as a full-time working professional, I'm also in school and I'm a mom of a young child. I would say that I could never balance all of these things without the efficiency and the organization that AI brings to my workflows, both in and out of the office. Helps me organize my life. But I would say if you're hesitant, if you haven't tried, if you haven't logged in, just go in and ask it a question and get started talking to it. And if you want to talk to me, I would love to connect with anyone about AI.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that covers it for today, but I want to thank you for the opportunity. And yes, I do encourage anyone that's interested in talking about AI to reach out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.